Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video we're going to be looking at Sunsoft Collection 2 on the Super Pocket. Are there any issues that stop this from being playable? Let's have a look. Okay guys, so we're going to have a quick look at the Sunsoft Collection 2 on the Super Pocket. Just check for any issues, obviously compatibility problems with the screen size, the buttons, and obviously the fact that their shoulder buttons are probably a little bit tricky to get to. I don't think there'll be any massive issues with this collection. Obviously we've got 7 games, a mixture of sort of NES, Game Boy games, sort of Genesis, SNES games, that type of thing. So I don't see any massive issues, but we'll have a quick play at it. I'll give you my thoughts and whether you should purchase this for your Super Pocket, just in case there's anything specific that stops this from being playable. If you want to see my full in-depth sort of first impressions video, that was obviously done on the Evercade VS and EXP. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to actually watch that. So it's not going to be as fully in-depth as that video, so it's just a brief look and highlighting any problems. Okay guys, so we'll just jump straight into the first game. That's Aerial the Acrobat II. Shouldn't be any massive issues with this. No doubt it is a very frustrating title. Now that's something obviously quite apparent with a lot of the Sunsoft games. They are quite challenging and pretty tricky. So probably the first thing, regardless whether it's on Super Pocket or not, really is just to say that these games are pretty tough. If you don't mind the challenge, then you're probably going to love it. If you get a little bit frustrated with this type of thing, then you might not really enjoy it as such. But still decent enough, very polished games, just very, very tough to actually play through. And happy to say this game plays absolutely fine on the Super Pocket. It looks really nice too. Graphics are popping nice, but it's still a very, very tough game. Okay, moving on to Blaster Master Zero. Now this, I think it's a Game Boy Advance title. I've probably got this wrong so many times. And it probably should fit onto this screen perfectly well, I would have thought. I think the screen ratios are pretty similar. So as we've probably seen before, a lot of the Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Advance games work really well on the Super Pocket. So I don't think this will be any different. As you see there, the graphics and sort of screen ratio look really perfect for this little screen. Again, another really tough game. It is pretty similar to the game on Sunsoft 1, but it's still a decent game. If you like this type of thing, you'll enjoy it. I just get a little bit frustrated sometimes. It's not entirely clear where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. So obviously try and refer to that manual, check a few online guides, because I'm not really the best at this game, not entirely clear. Not really a huge fan of it. But I can see there's certainly a lot of fans out there and there's a lot of playability here. Pretty tough because you have pretty much just one life. So if you run out of energy, it is game over. So again, utilise those save states to maximise the most out of this game. I don't think there's any issues with the controls. I think you use the select button down the bottom here to jump your character out of the vehicle and back in again. So not a lot of different controls, pretty straightforward, and it should work really fine. As you can see, it looks fantastic on the Super Pocket. Okay, so this is Days Before Christmas, a Christmassy related title obviously on the Super Pocket. I can't remember if it was SNES or Mega Genesis version, to be honest. I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure it's probably SNES. Most of the titles used, I think, on the Sunsoft collections were SNES. There might be a difference here and there. There might have been a Genesis title used. But it's a pretty cool platformer. It's not too challenging. I'm pretty sure a lot of people really enjoy that. It's actually surprisingly pretty decent. Bit strange, but yeah, I guess it's quite nice to have a sort of Christmas related title on Evercade, because I don't think we have an awful lot of them at all. But yeah, pretty cool game. No massive issues with controls. It works absolutely fine on the buttons and the D-pad. Again, sometimes that D-pad is a little bit sticky here and there, but yeah, it's not too bad. It was similar on the XP as well. Okay, next up it's Galaxy Fight. Now this is a PlayStation title. Although it doesn't necessarily look like a PlayStation title, it doesn't really pop out as if it is one. It looks almost like more like an advanced Sega Mega CD game or something. But anyway, it's a one-on-one fighting game. And it's pretty cool, but it's very, very tough. Now, interestingly, you can actually use the shoulder buttons. They aren't actually mapped. but if you get into the actual settings, you can change or sort of map the special controls to those shoulder buttons if you like. So they're not necessarily used, but you can obviously allocate them to those special moves if you want. So it's really up to you. You can use them or not. So sometimes those shoulder buttons are a nightmare to reach on the Super Pockets, and it doesn't make it for ideal gaming. But see, it looks really nice on the Super Pocket, just extremely tough. I would say it actually loads quicker on the Super Pocket than it does on the EXP and VS. A lot of practice needed, but a very, very decent sort of one-on-one fighting game. But yeah, you'll probably do well to get past the first stage on your first go, because it is brutally difficult. I wish there was an option to actually change the difficult level in the game, but I don't think there is. It's really disappointing. It's too damn hard, but it looks really good. Okay guys, so next up is Primitive Princess. This is clearly a Game Boy title, and as you would expect with a Game Boy title, it is perfectly suited to the Super Pocket. A very strange little puzzle style game. Your idea is to get to the top of the tower, but it's a weird one. It really is a strange one. Once you get your head around the dynamics of the actual game, you might actually enjoy it. As you can see here, the screen ratio is absolutely perfect. It does look really good. It's almost like some of these games are perfectly suited to the Super Pockets, as if they were actually made for it. So that's certainly a good plus point. But as I said, the game mechanics are a little bit weird. Is it perfect? I don't know. Definitely one of those games that can be a little bit frustrating to play, and yet you have a time limit to actually complete the level. The idea is to try and get that gem there, and then it'll open up the exit at the top of the screen, so you can make your way to the next level type of thing. But yeah, a strange one indeed. Oh, I probably messed up there. So you can hammer the platforms away. You can also repair them as well. Very odd, very strange, don't get it. Sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense. It can be a little bit frustrating. So you press up to go through the doors. No massive control issues here. Don't utilise the shoulder buttons, so no problems. And I've probably already used up the fact that I can repair the platform. I think you only have a limited amount of repairs per level, and I've already used up, so I really need to reset the game. I think it's pressing one of the buttons. I think it's probably B and select button to actually reset. I think, yes. So B and select to reset, start again. Okay, next up is Euphoria, and as per my sort of previous video, this is probably the best game on the collection. This is the one I enjoyed playing the most, and this is a NES title. And yeah, it looks and sounds absolutely fantastic. You won't have any issues with shoulder buttons here. I think you'll really enjoy this one. If you like your platform style games and you get used to it, it's nowhere near as hard as Mr. Gimmick. It does have a lot of frustrations here and there, no doubt about it. It's typical Sunsoft stuff, but it's nowhere near as frustrating as Mr. Gimmick. Now, like I probably said in the the Acrobat II, if you press down, or it might have been the Santa game, the days before Christmas, sometimes I feel the character just suddenly sticks down and it won't sort of come back up until you press up again. So probably not ideal on the D-pad for that. I think the D-pad on the Super Pockets is probably not perfect for every game. So just beware of that. You might accidentally duck when you really don't want to. So it might cause a little bit of frustration here and there. So I think sometimes when you're pressing left and right, you might accidentally press down like that, and you might start crawling, and it might cause some issues. So yeah, definitely one to be aware of. But other than that, absolutely fine. Plays just the same as the other version on VS and Evercade EXP. But yeah, just be wary of that D-pad problem. Okay guys, final game on this collection is Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. And this is the bad guy from, I think, Aero the Acrobat II. So you get to play that, and it does feel a lot like playing Cool Spot, I think. That's how I sort of got the feeling from the first sort of levels anyway, but still, it is very, very tough. You certainly get Sonic 2 vibes from this. You might even get Zool vibes here and there from it as well. It's fun, looks fantastic. Again, I think it might be the NES title, I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember. Control wise, not a major problem, though it does actually utilise the sort of R1 and L1 buttons. If you press the L1 button, you do some kind of flick, I think it's called, to the left or right. But anyway, it's not a big deal. You don't necessarily actually need to use them. You can just double jump and do the same sort of thing. But just a word of warning, it does utilise those buttons, but it's not a big deal. As you can see, it does look fantastic. Again, no issues with the D-pad on this one. This one's absolutely fine. The only issue I found with this game is just so tough, very frustrating. It's not actually clear if you should sort of zoom through the levels really quickly or try and take your time. I don't think zooming through the levels is the best way of approaching it, so it's not like one of those games you want to approach it like Sonic. You maybe want to treat it a bit more like Zool, where you probably want to try and take your time to get through the levels. So yeah, I need to be wary of that. There's a lot of frustrations in the game. Certainly looks the part. But yeah, it definitely caused me to swear quite a lot at the screen. But anyway guys, I think overall this is a decent collection. You just have to be wary. The games are tough, they're very frustrating, very challenging. But if you obviously enjoyed the first collection, you'll probably absolutely love this as well. If you didn't enjoy the first collection, then you really probably have to think twice about buying this one. See, arguably this one might be the better collection, but at the same time it is still a very frustrating sort of collection, frustrating games to actually play through. But anyway guys, certainly worthy of adding to your collection. 7 more titles from the Sunsoft library that are pretty decent, certainly high quality stuff. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.